Hi everyone, and welcome to the sew along for Angie's Shirred top by Simple Life Pattern Company. This is the top that we're going to be making today. Isn't it so cute? I'm just obsessed. Today we are celebrating the month-long challenge over at the Sewing Hub on Facebook. It's all about sewing sustainably. So we have used one of Simple Life Pattern's free patterns, and we're going to get into why this is sustainable. Angie's Shirred top is a perfect top to make for all skill levels. It's really super simple, and the outcome is just adorable. It has this shirred bodice and adjustable tie straps, so it's both comfortable and customizable. It will last for years and years and years to come. So I am so excited to get to do this with you guys. Thank you so much for being here.
Before we get started, let's go over what you'll need. For this project, you'll need your ruler, the fabric of choice, some elastic thread, scissors or a rotary cutter, an iron, some pins. This friction pen is amazing. I highly recommend it. And of course, your sewing machine. The pattern recommends using lightweight woven fabrics like cotton, chambray, or linen, but today we're going to get a little creative. We're going to use an upcycled bedsheet. Upcycling is such a great way to breathe new life into materials you already have at home. Not only does it help reduce waste, but it can also give your garment a unique look that you just can't find in stores. Plus, it's an excellent way to add a sustainable twist to your sewing projects. So, grab that vintage or colorful bedsheet from the back of your closet and let's turn it into something fabulous. Make sure you check your fabric for any flaws or worn areas, and we'll talk more about how to plan your cutting layout around those in just a moment. Using an old bedsheet is a fantastic way to create a unique garment while being eco-friendly and budget-conscious. It's a great way to find a use for flat sheets you might already have on hand, because who uses flat sheets anymore? You'll also want to press the fabric with an iron to remove any wrinkles. This makes it easier to cut precisely. Next, let's measure out our pattern pieces. For Angie's shirred top, we need 2 pieces for the top and 4 pieces for the straps. Using the cutting chart provided in the pattern, measure and mark the fabric for each piece. Remember to consider the grain line and the pattern direction, especially with upcycled materials like bed sheets that may have unique prints or textures. Carefully cut out the fabric pieces using either fabric scissors or a rotary cutter. A rotary cutter is great for straight, clean edges, especially with larger pieces like a bed sheet. Take your time with this step. Cutting accurately is essential to ensure everything fits together perfectly in the end. And there you have it. Our fabric pieces are ready to go. With all of our pieces cut out, we're ready to start sewing. Upcycling is such a passion of mine, and I am so excited that you're here doing this with me. It's so special and unique, and that it's environmentally friendly is a huge plus. Now that we've got all of our fabric pieces cut out, let's start sewing. We'll begin with the two main top pieces. Place them right sides together. That means the printed sides of your fabric will be facing each other. This is important to make sure that the seams end up on the inside of the garment. Align the two short sides of the top pieces and pin them together. This will help keep the fabric in place while sewing. If you're working with upcycled materials like our bedsheet, pins are especially helpful to handle any unexpected shifting or stretching. Using a straight stitch, sew along both short sides with a 3/8 inch seam allowance. You can use a standard stitch length, but if you're unsure, I recommend setting it to 2. Don't forget to backstitch at the beginning and end to secure your seams. Once you've sewn the side seams, finish the raw edges with a serger or zigzag stitch. This will prevent fraying and give your garment a more professional look. If you're upcycling, this step is even more important since older fabrics may fray more easily. You can either finish both edges together or separately. Here, I'm finishing them together. If you've finished them separately, press your seams open with an iron. Pressing is key to getting clean, crisp edges and a polished finish on your top. Pressing every seam as you sew can make a huge difference in the final look of your garment. Pressing seams also reduces bulk in the seams, but since we don't have any lining here, that won't be a problem. Now let's work on the bottom hem. With your top piece still wrong sides out, fold the bottom edge up 1/2 inch and press. Then fold it up another 1/2 inch and pin it. This double fold hem will give a neat finish by hiding the raw edges and preventing fraying. Top stitch the hem 3/8 of an inch from the folded edge all the way around. Take your time with this step to ensure your stitches are even and straight. For a professional look, you might consider increasing your stitch length slightly to around a 3. Just remember to adjust it back to 2 for regular sewing. Now let's finish the top edge with a rolled hem. This creates a clean, narrow edge that's perfect for lightweight fabrics like this bedsheet. You can do a rolled hem with a regular sewing machine using a special rolled hem foot, but today I'll show you how to do it with a serger. To create a rolled hem with a serger, adjust your machine settings to the rolled hem stitch setting. For most sergers, this involves tightening the stitch length to a shorter setting, usually around 1 to 1.5, and setting the differential feed to 0. Make sure to switch to a 3-thread configuration, removing the left needle and using the right needle and 2 loopers. For a rolled hem, you'll also need to remember to remove the stitch finger from your serger. Line up your fabric and carefully guide the top raw edge through the serger, allowing the machine to create a neat, narrow hem. Take your time and keep the fabric edges even for a consistent finish. If you're using a sewing machine, remember to go slowly and keep the fabric taut to avoid puckering. Look at that gorgeous rolled hem. To finish the rolled hem, tie your tail in a knot and clip off the excess. And there you have it, a beautifully finished rolled hem along the top edge, giving your garment a clean and professional look.
Okay, now let's have some fun. It's time to shear the bodice. Shearing is what has that beautiful texture and stretch, making it both comfortable and stylish. If you've never sheared before, don't be afraid. I promise I'm going to walk you through this step by step. Okay, let's go.
First, we need to prepare our bobbin with elastic thread. This step is crucial for creating that sheared effect. First, cut the end of the elastic thread to make it easier to thread through the bobbin hole. Then, hand wind the elastic thread onto your bobbin. Make sure to do this by hand, not with your machine. This way you maintain a little tension, but not too much. The bobbin should feel firm, but not overly tight. The thread should not be loose around the bobbin, but should not be pulled tight either. Remove the original bobbin and replace it with the elastic thread into your sewing machine, just like you would with regular thread. Then thread your machine normally with regular thread on the top. Let's adjust the machine settings. Set your stitch length to around a 3, which is a longer stitch. Increase the tension to about a 6 or higher depending on your machine. Every sewing machine is different, so you may need to experiment a little to find the perfect settings. It's always a good idea to practice on a scrap piece of fabric first, to make sure your shearing looks even. Here, I'm just sewing a straight line down the length of the fabric, pivoting, and sewing another straight line all the way back so I can see the full effect of the shearing. We'll begin shearing a 1/4 of an inch down from the rolled hem, starting at one of the side seams. Sew all the way around the top edge, keeping your stitches straight and even. When you get close to where you started, angle your stitch path down between a 1/4 of an inch to a 1/2 inch below the first row of shearing. Continue shearing in a loop, keeping each row about a 1/4 of an inch to a 1/2 inch away from each other. Keep sewing in a loop around and around the bodice until you get to the number of rows specified in the pattern. For sizes 3T to 5, you'll need about 9 rows. For sizes 6 to 8, you'll need 12, and for sizes 9 to 12, you'll need about 16. Remember to backstitch at the beginning and end to secure your stitches. When done correctly, the elastic thread on the inside should look like a smooth string, not jagged or uneven. The fabric should have a nice stretch, but also snap back to its original size. If your fabric isn't stretching properly, it might mean the bobbin was too tight. Try rewinding it with less tension. Once all the rows are complete, we'll use a steam iron to set the shirring. Don't press directly on the fabric. Instead, hover your iron over the stitches and release bursts of steam. This will help the elastic thread shrink and tighten, creating that beautiful gathered effect. I don't trust my iron not to spit water all over my project, so here I opted to use a garment steamer. It works just as well as a steam iron, but it's so much easier to use. I love watching how the fabric transforms under the steam. It's honestly like magic.
See, that wasn't so bad, was it? We did it. We sheared the bodice. If you have any adjustments to make, now is the time. Otherwise, we are going to move on to the next step, which is putting together the straps and attaching them.
Now that we have the bodice sheared, it's time to create the straps for our top. For this pattern, we need 4 strap pieces. If you're using an upcycled fabric like a bedsheet, you might notice that the fabric has its own unique texture or pattern. This will give your straps some extra character. Let's start by folding both short ends of each strap piece in by 1/4 inch and pressing them down. This will hide the raw edges and create a nice finish for the ends of the straps. Next, fold each strap in half lengthwise, wrong sides together, and press along the fold. Then unfold and fold each long raw edge toward the center fold line, encasing the raw edges inside. Press again to keep everything in place. This method creates a nice clean strap without any exposed raw edges. Once everything is folded and pressed, fold the strap in half again along the original center fold line and press one final time. Using 1/8 inch seam allowance, we're going to sew down one short end, pivot, and sew all the way down one of the long ends. This secures the folds in place and gives the straps a professional finished look. Make sure to sew slowly and keep your stitching straight for the best results. And here are our finished straps. They look great, don't they? Making your own straps allows you to match them perfectly to your fabric, and it's a simple way to elevate your garment. The folded and top stitch edges will ensure these straps are sturdy and comfortable. Okay, now let's continue to secure our straps to our bodice. I like to start by marking my side seams with 2 pins. To find the center front and the center back of my bodice, I match up those pins together, and I mark the folds with 2 more pins. Next, the pattern requires you to measure 2.5 inches away from the center mark for sizes 2 to 5, or 3.5 inches for sizes 6 to 12. However, this will depend on how tight your shirring is, so it's always best to test placement on the intended wearer. For my size 7, I ended up putting the straps 2 inches from the center mark on each side. Mark these points on both the front and back bodice pieces. This is where your straps will be attached. Take each strap and pin it in place 1/2 inch below the rolled hem. Make sure the straps are positioned on the inside of the mark toward the center of the bodice. Pin securely and repeat for the back bodice. Now we will sew the straps in place. I like to sew once at the very top of the bodice and again about 3/8 of an inch down. This will keep the strap from flipping and keep everything neat. Be sure to backstitch at the beginning and end to secure the straps firmly. And there you have it. The straps are securely attached and our Angie's Shirred top is now complete. Look at how the upcycled fabric gives it a unique flair while still being stylish and comfortable.
Thank you for joining me for the Angie's Shirred top sew along. I hope you had as much fun as I did making this beautiful shirred top out of an upcycled bedsheet. It's always amazing to see how we can turn something old into something fresh and stylish and new. If you made this top, we'd love to see it, so please share your creations in our Facebook group, The Sewing Hub, so everyone can admire your work and get inspired. You can also share it in the Simple Life Pattern fan group on Facebook, as well as Instagram and all of those other places. Give us a tag so we can make sure we don't miss your amazing creations. Thanks again for coming. We'll see you next time.